So here we are down here at the Poquoson Museum, and this is, I wouldn't exactly call it a Halloween special, but perhaps the weekend before Halloween special, where we're going to be doing some, this event here, and then perhaps some investigations throughout the weekend if we can find some places to get out to. As of now, we had 2 different places set up, but they both canceled. So we're thinking perhaps of going out to Old House Woods later on, just to revisit one of the most haunted places we've perhaps ever been to. So definitely stay tuned and we'll show you what's going on here. All right, so what are you doing there, Linda?
I am studying the Ghost Walk script. I'm about to go and do the Yorktown Ghost Walks, and it'll be the first time that I've actually done the whole thing by myself. Usually Jeff and I kind of split up the tour, but I'm having to learn all of his part of the script this time. And there's so many dates. I'm not sure I'm going to get this, but it may be a short ghost walk this time, but we'll see.
You got it. Absolutely, absolutely. And here we got Moni over here. And what activity are you partaking in?
I'm attempting to get set up and connect the connects.
Okay.
For the stick figures.
I remember those things when I was a kid. They're the little sticks that you put together and you make the men up. Oh.
No,
that's something different.
No, we're talking about ghost stick figures.
Oh,
if there's such
yeah.
a thing. We can map it, and hopefully something will pop out tonight.
Here are the connects that she's hooked up to the windows, and you can go over there and you can kind of see my figure on there. If you pan over, go ahead, Moni, explain that.
Well, the connect is picking Jeff's motion up as a stick figure, and Jeff is going to do
so
the
when I move
jig.
my arms and stuff like that, it can just pick up exactly what I'm doing.
Check out the jig. Oh, somebody behind you.
And it's not a ghost.
Jeff is not on his knees. I think what it is the stick figure, the connect is in the computer trying to figure out where his legs belong, because normally a person's body, you have legs. So the legs are flipping out. It's all crazy, like.
Maybe the shadow. Could be kicking on the shadow.
Could be the shadow. Could be the shadow. But
and that's good because it's made to detect shadows. I mean, well, not made to, but that's what we want to detect with it too.
we can also do depths if you'd like.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot of different things you can do. You can create your own system as to what you want, depending on what you're doing, what kind of thing you're trying to accomplish. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat, and I'd like to give a shout out to Christian for helping with this.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
So here we are carrying a coffin.
Oh, man.
You guys see this?
Ow!
Yeah.
It's a child's coffin.
A big child. We're here at the museum still, and you can see behind us, that's where our table once stood, because we've packed up, and now we're just waiting for Linda to get up here from Yorktown, and once she gets here, we're going to head out to Old House Woods, and I'm sure there'll be a Paranormal Pit Stop or 2 along the way, because I'm getting somewhat hungry, and I can almost taste perhaps Cookout. I don't know.
Cookout
Cookout is a
I
good
haven't had
place.
that in forever.
Yes, and I do have to say,
idea.
there are some that are better than others.
Yeah.
Gloucester is one of the best ones I've been to.
Oh,
Gloucester
man.
Cookout is a good one. Williamsburg Cookout's another good one, but
Man.
yeah, Gloucester's right along the way.
Yeah.
Tonight, Friday night, their dining room's open until like 1 in the morning, so
Perfect.
yeah, we'll have plenty of time,
Perfect.
and we'll be able to eat at Cookout, and like I
Have
said.
a shake.
Oh yeah,
Oh, man,
that'd
them
be
calories I'm about to eat so much.
right.
Oh, man.
So yeah, we'll destroy some
But it's
food.
nothing like a Sheetz Walker Breakfast Wrangler.
There's not. Unfortunately, I think we'd have to go about, not incredibly far, but perhaps 30 minutes north of Old House Woods,
Man.
up into Tappahannock.
To find that orange beacon in the night.
That, yes.
Beacon of hope.
That's right. And we know what they have good stuff there. Like, it's a trusted place.
Darn.
Oh man, what happened?
Nothing.
Did you try to fill it up with the lid on?
No, I didn't. Not on purpose.
Stop making a mess.
I
Come
was
on
actually
now.
trying to get some of it
Gosh.
out, and when I went to set it down, it hit the lever.
Oh.
So I have more than what I need.
I do gotta say that when it comes to cookout, what I like is how secure the lid is. Like you can see the soda filling up. Did you try to fill it up with the lid on again?
Yeah, with pink lemonade.
Do you just have a mix like?
Oh, you're just mixing a bunch of random drinks together.
Yeah,
Not intentionally, though.
it's called a hurricane.
I guess it wasn't intentional.
What?
I thought a hurricane was an alcoholic drink.
I thought so too. I didn't think it was where you went down the line and just pushed a bunch of levers. At the soda fountain.
I didn't know it involved filling up the drink with the lid on it.
So things are going totally wrong here at the cookout in Gloucester tonight, and I don't know what it is, whether it has something to do with Halloween, like the weird feel in the air or something, but like first off, Jeff got this tray and it had like onion rings in it, and there was like 2 small onion rings, and that was his serving. And now,
One of them was broken too.
Yeah.
It was like a half of an onion ring.
Disgraceful.
And that's all you got?
Yeah. Literally. Like I'd never seen anything like that. It looked like crumbs. It looked like someone had eaten out of it and they just left the little like onion rings, broken pieces down in there.
Really?
That was it. Yeah, it was pretty bad. You saw those onion rings, right?
It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
disgraceful.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you what I got for $1. I ordered some chili, a cup of chili. A cup of chili. Is this a cup of chili?
That looks like the thing that the mustard used to come in that you would dunk the corn dog.
it's a Dixie cup of chili is what it is.
It's weird. Look at that. Huh?
But that's not a whole cup.
No, not even.
Well, it
It's
says
like
a
gotta
cup.
be like a half a cup. Now, things have been a little bit rectified because not only did they give Jeff a couple of extra onion rings, but I managed to get him a pumpkin pie milkshake as well.
Get out of here. You managed to get me a pumpkin pie milkshake.
I did. He was like, do you want a shake or something for that? And I was like, I'll try one of those pumpkin pie shakes right there, because Jeff had his eye on him up there at the cash register, so. Turned out
Oh, and I
good.
was given a fork to eat my chili with.
So here I am with this free pumpkin milkshake, and I gotta say, like I tried to drink it through the straw, and like literally nothing comes through, and I can blow up those little tiny balloons that take a lot of air to blow them up. But that's blowing. This is sucking.
So
Maybe
you're better
I'm
at
just-
blowing than sucking, is what you're saying?
I have to say this is a pretty good milkshake. It's more like ice cream, but it's got little chunks of I want to say pumpkin maybe inside there, but that probably
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would be right though. What are these chunks up here? Let me see.
Pieces of pie.
It could be like pieces of pie crust.
Uh-huh,
Is it
yeah.
a pumpkin pie milkshake?
It is pumpkin pie milkshake. Yes.
There we have it. Now it all makes sense. So, let's take a look inside here right now.
See Crystal? Moni?
What is she doing in there?
I don't really know
I don't-
what she's
She's
doing.
washing her hands at the
She is.
sink.
Yeah.
That was
But
moments
as-
after she ordered for her money back.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Her
After we're
hands-
leaving, we thought she was gonna stop and give it to them, sock it to the man one more time per se. And we were there to watch for a minute, but we had to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, she's up there now. Look at her.
As she's back again. And that's Moni up there demanding her money back for that
Look at her.
less than a cup of chili.
Yep. Pitiful cup.
hand
And she's
motion.
really in there. Yeah, she's got the hands
getting
going and
into it.
everything. She's preaching.
Let
She's
him know, Moni.
Right.
I kind of want to open that door.
I do. I would like to hear it. So you got your money back, did you not?
I got $1 back for one of the chilies.
Did you pay for two?
I did, but I got my $1 back. I didn't want anything to do with the second chili. When
So
I
you
went
took
to-
it up on the counter, and what'd you say? You put the chili on the counter?
Yeah, and got chili all over the counter. it had a crack in it, and I said, that's enough. I'm tired of dealing with these people with the chili. So I asked for my dollar back. So she asked me what was wrong with it, and I said, well, it's small, for one. Secondly, there's no crackers. And you know what she said? There's no butter for our hush puppies either.
Oh, man. So next time you go to eat and there's no crackers and it's small, just ask for your money back. So here in 7-Eleven, we found pumpkin spice sandwich cookies.
Yes, definitely something unique, but I'm not surprised. 7-Eleven's been coming out with a lot of really good foods and snacks lately.
Yeah, they have.
Yes.
I'd like to try those, but not tonight.
No, definitely.
So we need some coffee for the road here before venturing out into the depths of Old House Woods. And I, of course, have mine with pumpkin spice creamer.
Right.
And anything significant to report with your coffee?
I don't like a lot of pumpkin spice flavor, so I take a pumpkin spice and mix it with the French vanilla one.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
you
one of
mentioned
each,
that.
and it's actually really good. It's got kind of that creamier, vanilla-ish
Right.
sort of pumpkin flavor to it, and
Absolutely.
it's much more appealing to me.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a chilly night out here, so
Yeah, it
it's,
is.
you know, I think it was about 53 last time we checked out here in Gloucester.
Uh-huh.
So a nice night for some 7-Eleven coffee, of
Definitely.
course. That's not a commercial. So here we are out at Old House Woods, and we're down by the beach area, not on the beach, but in the parking lot where, from what we can tell from the sign, it is legal to be, of course. And it's changed a little bit since the last time we've been here, because if you can see behind me, there's a rather bright light right over there. And that didn't used to be here. And when that was not here, it was pitch dark down here, which it still pretty much is in front of me,
Yes.
aside from where the, you know, outside the glow of that light, but it is a pretty bright light. You can still see thousands of stars out here, of course, because we're so far out away from the city. And it appeared that they paved the road
They did.
that once was dirt, because I remember that being a gravel road, was it not?
They did. It was all gravel at one time, and it used to flood quite a bit, and it looked like it was paved, and it looked like it had been dry for a long time as well. So
Right.
They
But
must have raised it.
Yeah, they might have, because there
Yeah.
wasn't as much water either. But this is definitely, like I said, one of the more creepy places. Probably one of my favorite places to come and investigate.
It is.
You're supposed to keep your eyes out for a white pickup truck.
Yes. Some people have seen that up here lately. They've reported this white pickup truck that's been chasing people out of here. Aside from that, if you're not familiar with the stories, there are reports of headless dogs. There are pirates that buried treasure out here. They got lost at sea. Their ship overturned and they never made it back. So now their spirits roam the banks
Well, that scared the crap out of me.
looking for treasure.
I think
Lights
the
come up
dogs
from
are
the sea.
headless.
Yes.
According to the Vikings, they cut the heads off of their fellow mates and their animals and then bury them, or bury them in their boats and set them off to sea.
So that could explain the
That-
headless dogs, which
exactly.
appear as mastiffs, which were the kind of dogs that they might have carried on their ships at the time,
Makes sense.
particularly the Spanish. But stories up here go back over 100 years, and we're going to see what we can find while we're here this time. So we're here in the parking lot, down close to the beach, and we're going to kick off a spirit box session to see if we can pick anything up. And this is going to scan through different radio stations. I'm not sure what we'll pick up out here, what we won't, but we're going to see if we can get any communication coming through tonight.
Now is oxy mode.
All right, so I'm Jeff,
I'm David.
My name?
Linda?
and we don't mean to impose. We're not here for your treasure or for anything like that. We just want to know, we want some evidence that there is somebody here. If there's anybody here with us, could you tell us how many?
Were you the same ones that were at that house that was torn down?
Yeah, it might have been me.
I was about to say, I hope that was you.
Could you please tell us your name?
Are you the one that took the dog?
That was weird.
We heard there was treasure buried out here. We're not looking for it, but we just want to know if that's true. Is that true?
What would you say to me if I wanted to take that treasure? If I wanted to steal it from you? Would that anger you? Or would you do anything? Or could you do anything? What if I told you I was here to take it tonight?
We all came to get it. There's 4 of us.
No, they came to get it. I don't want it.
I don't want anything to do
I
with it.
want
I'm just
nothing
here
to
to
do
hold
with
the
that.
spirit box.
Yeah, I want to take
I'm just
the
holding
treasure.
this thing so you can tell them if they can have it.
My ass is not here for no treasure.
It's really silent.
It is.
I would
for
be
that one.
expecting, you know.
Yeah, that one little.
That was
blur.
really
That was
weird, yeah.
weird. It almost sounds mournful, somewhat.
Yeah, it didn't
Are
sound
you the
angry.
one that took the dog?
Huh?
Did you hear something over there?
Over here?
You're gonna have to edit that. Sorry.
It sounded like a dog to me. I didn't hear anything.
Jeff is wandering off into the night to check out sound that Moni just heard. She said she thought she heard a dog, but the direction she heard it coming from is not where a dog would be. There's only water out there. And you heard a woman yell earlier, right?
Yeah.
Alright, that was definitely something over there too.
What, just now?
Yeah,
You hear it?
I heard something
A
like
thump?
right there.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure it wasn't a dog or anything. It sounded like other wildlife. I'm pretty sure it was just wildlife.
Did you hear that? Sounded like a dog barking.
Earlier though, I did hear something though. It was like over there, but I didn't know what it was.
Did it come kind of from like this direction down
Yeah,
here?
it's over here.
I heard something. Like it was far off in the distance. It was
Yeah.
kind of like a high pitched. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a low bark. It was kind of like a
Yeah,
high pitch,
yeah.
like a oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just when I was walking over there, right? Did you hear it again when I was walking over there?
I'm hearing it. I'm still hearing it.
Still hearing it.
I'm still hearing it.
Let's take the camera and go a little closer.
It sounds like it would be like that high pitch from a distance.
Something comes out of these marsh grasses.
We're gone.
This phone's being dropped on the ground, so I have a free hand to grab my gun. Can't really see it very good, but there's only marsh grass in front of us. Maybe I can turn this light up a little. You might be able to see a little better.
Alright, so I think what we need to do is kind of like when we do an outdoor EVP session. It's going to be a little weird, but we want to kind of establish a perimeter. So, because sounds can sound different out here from, you know, if you're standing here as opposed to if you're standing, you know, a few yards down that way.
Yeah.
So if we all separate
Shit.
and we all stand
I'm down.
perhaps in a perimeter,
I'm down.
maybe about, I don't know, 10 or 20 meters apart, and we have a recorder down on the ground somewhere in the middle of us, and we take turns going around the circle asking questions. And in the meantime, we tag any noises we hear coming from our direction. So I'll monitor this way, you know, and then someone will overlap at that corner, and we'll have an overlapping kind of perimeter for the EVP session. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
If there's some weird sound though, I'm running.
So we have the digital voice recorder. It's now turned on and it's recording. Now where should we place this?
Like I said, we're gonna want it somewhere between us all.
Oh yeah, where's everybody gonna stand?
My post is next to the car. I've
Okay.
got dibs.
Gosh, you took the best spot.
All right, so maybe we should set it. Like I said, I don't want anybody to come barreling down here by chance and run over it. But if we go down here far enough where we can see headlights, we should be able to get it up in
Oh
time.
yeah, let's just go farther, more isolated from the car. Before those dogs come running out of here. We have to
We're going to
run.
be able to reach the recorder if somebody comes down here quickly.
Right, right.
So, what, right here?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Set it down in the middle of the road?
Yep.
All right, yeah, I'm not joking. I heard a dog sound too.
Did you?
Yeah, I heard it from over there.
All right, Linda.
Yeah.
So if you stand, up that way a little bit.
You heard it from over there?
I did hear it from over there, yeah.
Okay.
It sounded like far off in the distance there.
Let's say right there. I'll stand over. I'll stand over here. Okay. And
Stand up.
yeah, if you go down that way, is about as far as she is up that way. I think we'll be good. And then, Moni, if you just go like across from me, I think that'll be good. Like as far.
Go?
Yeah, like about as far down that way as she is up that way.
Over that side or this side?
Just in the middle.
Oh, just in the middle?
Not sure what the light coverage is on this. Can't see Moni over there. Can't see anybody, but the recorder's in the middle. Let's say our names to start off, just in a normal voice. I'm Jeff.
Linda?
I'm David.
I'm Moni.
And once again, we don't mean to impose by any means, but we'd like to know if there is anybody here with us. If there is, can you please tell us how many are here?
Is that the same dog?
Here, boy. Here, puppy, 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 puppy.
Can you make a noise or something so that we know you're here? I don't think it's anything, but I'm gonna go look at that. So if I yell,
I got you.
no, it wasn't anything. I didn't think it was.
So you said you heard something down there, a woman's voice or something?
Oh yeah, so when I was right down there, kind of like in the middle, and then you were on the left side, earlier you had heard a voice coming from, like, I forget where you said it was coming from, but I heard a voice too, right down there when we were all like spread out.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like a woman's voice kind of, but I had no idea what it said, or you know.
I heard a woman when we first got here, but it sounded like it came from that direction.
See, and I asked, I was like, did anybody just say something? Because it was an audible voice. I mean, it was clearly somebody said something, but
Wow.
I don't
We
know.
weren't talking.
Yeah, and I thought it was you because it was pretty close to me. So, you know, I was like, it kind of did freak me out there a little bit.
It wasn't me.
Was it at all like the voice that came through the spirit box? There was a brief voice that came through. Remember that kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah, good question.
I don't want to say it sounded exactly like it, but it kind of had like the same tone. It was kind of like, I forget one of y'all said, I think it was Jeff, he said it was like sorrowful.
Like mournful.
One of y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like that. It's kind of like an exasperated, kind of like,
That's what that sounded
sound like tired, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
Yeah,
that
and that's
sounded
what it
like.
kind of sounded like. It was definitely weird because I definitely did hear a voice, and I don't really know why. And I felt like there was something over there, but that could have just been because, you know, I heard that voice and I was freaked
when
out.
you guys were over here and I was still standing over there, I thought you were next to me.
Yeah, I was, nah.
You know how you have that feeling when somebody's just near you?
Yeah,
That's how it
yeah.
felt.
There was a young girl that was killed out here, not in this exact parking lot, but in this immediate area, a number of years ago. She was a student, right? A college student? And she was brought out to this area and killed and left out here. They found her body out here.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to point out that I think it's interesting, because as David said he heard a woman's voice, we heard what sounded like a woman's voice come across the spirit box, and Linda mentioned the murder. But also previously, on a previous trip out here, we picked up an EVP of a woman's voice, and that was at the time when the old house was standing up. It was up the street where the old house was, but it
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. I don't see anything, but I heard it.
could have been the water, you think? No?
It would have been having a slap up against like a boat or something to make that noise.
It's interesting. But given that bit of evidence there, I definitely think there's sufficient evidence to suggest that there's a spirit of a woman still lingering out here. Whether it's the woman that was murdered or someone else, it's hard to say. I believe there were 2 girls.
Did y'all just move?
Did you see something move?
Did y'all like hear something? I swear to you, it sounded like footsteps.
Over this way?
It sounded like it came from footsteps, like over here.
Over this way.
Like, yeah, over in this area.
I
like,
saw
I'm
something.
not
I
even
have this
joking.
that bangs a little
It
bit.
sounded like this.
Yeah. I saw something.
It literally sounded like
right
something
here. I
moved.
wasn't sure it was one of your
It
shadows.
was over
or not.
there. Yeah, it was over there.
That's weird because
Yes. Like, that's really weird. It sounded like something was walking.
I don't see anything. It's weird because there's so many weird shadows and silhouettes that have been seen up here. So many weird figures that have been seen. And if you've heard earlier, Moni was asking questions about, did you take the dog? And that's because on a previous trip up here, when we were standing up the street, there was a pack of hunting dogs that were just loose. And they came running up from the beach here like they were like running from something. And there were a few stragglers in the end. And a dark figure about this tall off the ground just came, and I can't say how wide it was because it's moving pretty fast. It's probably like this. Came darting out across the street and snatched up one of these dogs and went running off into the woods with it. And we heard this splashing through the water, and we went running over with our flashlights, and that dog was gone. So I don't know what that could have been. If there's a kind of animal, we might have to look into that. If there's a kind of animal that was up here that might have been, but that's why she was asking about the dogs. But a lot of weird shadows and figures that move around up here, that's for sure. So here we are in Yorktown after night 2 of the Haunts of Poquoson, and broke down there and a ghost walk at the same time, and we're going to Wawa.
Right. This is the one I called corporate with and complained about because the parking lot.
It was this one?
It
Oh,
was
it's
this
this
Get
one.
out of here, it was
man.
this
It was
one.
terrible out here.
I thought you meant the one further up, like
No, it was
closer
this
to
one.
Jake Rock.
Really?
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy.
That
They
is
might
weird.
kick you out of
Yeah.
No.
Do they remember you? Do they have a poster of you hanging up in here?
Not.
Let's see if we can find something for
need
Moni to
something.
complain about in this one.
Oh, yeah.
You want to?
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. You find something to complain about?
Oh, I'm checking this out.
What is that?
I don't know.
Do you know what that is? That is a thermometer that they put in there, and it tells them the temperature because the water temperature is the temperature of the cooler.
Yeah,
So that's how they keep
food.
track of the temperature of the foods.
Yeah,
You learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
yeah, because a regular thermometer holding it, sitting in here with the open air, wouldn't give you an accurate reading.
And over here we got some pumpkin spice coffee. You can see the steam coming off it, which is always a good sign. What do you got there?
Nothing. gonna get some coffee.
Are you getting some coffee?
No, not now.
In the 16-ounce. What is that on? What is that?
It's not my lipstick.
Oh man.
Don't know. I'm not sure. Do you know?
I don't know. Perhaps we should inquire.
What is it?
It's a little sticky.
It's a dairy-based product, slightly dry.
Oh, dairy-based.
Yes.
That could get
Exactly
somebody
what it is.
salmonella.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
I think somebody spilled some creamer.
A little creamer
on the
never
little
kills
edge,
anybody.
and
Because
it's
that
run
creamer doesn't
down.
have to be refrigerated, so it's
smells
good.
sweet.
Yeah, it does have a sweet smell to it. Yeah.
So one thing I have to say that I do like about the Wawa pumpkin spice coffee is it doesn't require a creamer to get the pumpkin spice flavor. It's already in the coffee, like it's brewed in the coffee, and that's my favorite, the pumpkin spice coffee that's actually brewed like that. Of course, I always get the white lid because I like the lip contact with the rim of the cup. I don't like to risk the cup leaking. Sometimes when you have the lids that look like this, you know, you go to take a drink out of it and it leaks out of here and it runs all over your shirt and stuff like that. Most people don't have a problem with that, but sometimes I do, so I just don't chance it. But the Wawa pumpkin spice coffee, it's pretty good. I would recommend trying it because it's one of the few places, like I said, that I've seen that has the coffee that's actually brewed with the pumpkin spice in it. Now I've seen 7-Eleven has it, but they never seem to have it full when I'm in there. It's always like turned around that you can't get it.
Never at night.
Never
too.
at night.
Never at night.
Never at night, and then during the day when I go in, they don't even have the carafe there.
Right.
So I don't know about that, but Wawa usually has it around this time, and they keep a good stock of it any time of day or night.
And they keep it piping hot.
Piping hot, I venture to say.
Yes.
I decided to have, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I decided to have a French vanilla cappuccino.
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 Is it a cup of chino or is it a cup of cappuccino?
It's a cappuccino.
Okay, must be French.
No.
Where did you get that little straw?
This is a special straw for people who,
Our special.
yeah, who are very special. And it's one of my favorite colors, red.
Red.
This way you can't drink it all at one time.
If that's your favorite color, you're gonna love the lights here on 17 because they're always red.
Oh man. So I just went through probably one of the most awkward experiences I've had in a while. So Moni over here, she told me to get a pretzel. Well, you know, I didn't know where they were. So, you know, she was like, they're right over there. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then, I turned, I was in the middle of the store just turning all the way around in a circle. And like, people were just watching me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is getting bad. And then the employee had to tell me where they were.
I had to tell her to tell me.
Yeah. And then I walked over there and they weren't there except for like one. And I was like, oh man. So like, I walked away and she was like, oh, there's some on the other rack. So I walked over there. It was just cookies. So I was like, I kind of looked around. I was like, oh man. And then I was like, I was trying to find out what to eat. And I swear, I didn't even realize it. I walked around in a circle of that store like 4 times. And people were just staring at me. I was like, oh my God, I'm one of those weird people.
I was looking for you.
Yeah, like this was a rough experience. This was a
So did you get a
awkward time.
pretzel or?
No,
What'd you get?
I couldn't find one. Look.
What do you mean you couldn't find
No,
one?
I couldn't find one. Look at
right
this.
there.
I had to settle for this. I had to.
What is that?
I don't know what this is. This looks like some rabbit food right here.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, little wraps.
Yeah,
Those
it's a
things
little
are actually,
wrap.
if you get the right
Those
one,
looks
they're
good.
actually
Things. They call
pretty
them
good.
pinwheels or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think there's a little cheese stick action going on here.
Why not? Some
A little,
pinwheels and cheese.
a little blue Gatorade, blue
Yeah,
frost
the
Gatorade
frost.
action.
I like the frost
Yeah,
myself. I gotta say, I'm kind of a fan.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Absolutely.
But hopefully tonight gets a lot better because this is a pretty awkward take.
So here we are at My Lady Bridge out in Middlesex County. And the story with My Lady Bridge is that one day in the early 1900s, there was a bad flood and the bridge was washed out. But there was an older woman on a horse and buggy, and she decided she was going to come through the bridge come over the bridge, even though it was flooded out, and still try to get her horse through it. So as her horse came into the water, what she didn't know is that the bridge was completely washed out, and the horse, the buggy, and the woman were washed away. And now people, late at night, they claim to hear the sound of horse hooves clomping over the bridge when they come up here and sit for a while. So we're gonna see if we can pick that up tonight.
Can you tell us the name of your horse? Are you out here with us?
How old were you when you died?
How did you die? Did you die over here in the water?
Can you tell us one of our names?
Can you tell us what year it is? We're just here to communicate. We're not here to disturb you or scare you. Just want to know if you are here. And tell us what happened.
So this spirit box right now, it's very quiet. There's a couple of things that come through here and there, but it's still very, very quiet, right?
I guess you could call it dead silent.
After leaving My Lady Bridge, our search for food took us up to Sheets and Tappahannock.
Yes.
But when we got to the Sheets and Tappahannock, it was closed. That beacon of light that usually shines through the night was not shining.
No.
All the lights were off at the gas pumps. The lights inside were on.
Yeah.
And like the parking lot was roped off. And there were
Right.
police cars there. There was like
Some kind of ambulance.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the whole
So-
parking lot roped off, like you couldn't even get into it.
Right.
So.
And at this point, the hunger pains were, growing increasingly. There was no Denny's around for
Right.
miles.
No IHOP.
No
There's this
IHOP.
type of town where, everything shuts down
Everything.
after dark.
So we ventured out of Tappahannock and found ourselves at a 7-Eleven,
Yes.
where we're going to show you what we got here. And I think this is looking pretty good. And maybe just because I'm extra hungry, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. So this is the 3-pepper sausage. And I added a 4th pepper, which is the jalapeno, on top of the cheese that is smothered in the sausage, and then some onions. And
I have to correct you because this is actually kind of important. It said 7-pepper sausage.
7 pepper.
7.
So that makes 8, unless there's already jalapeno in it.
There might already be, but who knows? It sounded pretty good.
It did.
Cheese and 7-pepper sausage. Yeah.
So what do you got on yours there? I see you
I just had a
looking for
little
the
cheese and
the
onions.
cheese.
Yeah, I just didn't want a whole lot.
Man, that looks good.
I wanted to be able to really taste the sausage.
Right,
Because
right.
I've never had it before, so I felt like that was kind of important just to taste the sausage itself.
Yeah.
The bun is nice and soft, feels fresh.
Good,
Everything's
good.
warm and hot, hot sausage. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
And Moni, in the background there, I couldn't help but notice you were drinking your drink, not through the straw, but it appeared to be through the lid. What is
It's a new
that?
thing.
What are you doing
It's a
there?
new thing. It's called spill-proof.
Spill-proof.
Spill-proofing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're introducing a new cup here, and let's see what I won.
I think you had that cup last time, though. It can't really be new.
Oh,
Is that the UFC cup?
I got a.
That's right, we all
What
got
does that
one.
say?
You won
A free
something?
what?
Iced
did.
coffee, which nobody drinks.
I can't read that. I think we're going to have to get Jeff to read that because there's some tiny print on that
Here,
thing.
let's do this.
What's it say there, Jeff?
It says enjoy a free 7-day preview of UFC Pass at ufc.tv/biggulp. Oh, that's a period. Create an account or sign up and click to submit.
Mine says 10% off of a 10% discount off of
10% discount off of a purchase at ufcstore.com. What is this stuff? Can I get like a free drink or something here? 10% discount off ufcstore.com. So if anyone wants to get discounts at the UFC store,
Yeah.
send us an email.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I'm going to try this 7-pepper sausage with the 8th pepper being the jalapeno on top. So now to go with the 7-pepper sausage, I have some jalapeno Pringles, which I'm gonna tear into here. I've already opened the top, so let's see how these things taste. Get a little. I like to eat the Pringles by the stack, kind of.
Oh man. I gotta do that.
Welcome to the Paranormal Pub Table, where we're going to go ahead and review some of the stuff that happened this weekend. Unfortunately, we were supposed to go back to the Poquoson Museum tonight for the third night of the haunts,
Right.
but it's pouring rain, so the ground was too wet. People probably wouldn't come out in the pouring rain because it's pretty relentless out there.
Yes.
So we're sad that that got canceled, but it was an interesting weekend nonetheless. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Old House Woods. Now, Old House Woods is probably one of the creepiest places that I've ever been to. And we've been to a
Right.
lot of places,
Yes.
right? Now, there were various noises that were heard throughout the night at Old House Woods, and it's really hard to say. Sometimes voices definitely carry in the woods.
They do.
Some of the voices that we heard could have came from houses that were off in the distance,
Yes.
echoing through the woods, and it's not uncommon to go up there and to hear a voice in the woods.
Right.
The only thing that's interesting is every time we've heard a voice echoing through the woods, it always seemed to be a woman's voice.
Yes, that's true. Always a woman's voice. Always sounds like it's coming from off in the distance, but, who knows?
Exactly. And even in the times when I went up there with Scott, years and years ago, on occasion we'd hear a woman's voice yelling off in the distance.
Right.
So
right.
that was interesting. Same with the dog. There are hunting dogs in the area.
Yes.
Now the particular bark that we heard, the yelping, it was kind of more of a higher pitched
Higher
bark.
pitch.
It did sound like it was coming towards the water, but once again, you never know with acoustics and stuff like that,
Right.
the way noises travel in the woods.
Yes.
You weren't able to hear everything on the video. The video unfortunately doesn't pick up some of the sounds that we may hear off in the distance and such, at least not with without technology that is
Right.
beyond our grasp at this point.
Right.
But there are two interesting things I'd like to point out from the investigation at Old House Woods. Now, I'm going to show you a brief clip here. We're going to revisit a clip from when I asked how many are here. And as soon as I ask how many are here, you hear a response come through the spirit box. And it was very few and far between the responses that came through the spirit box up
Right,
there.
right.
And it's kind of an eerie response. It
It
almost
is.
sounds like it has an echo over it.
Right. Yeah, very echoey voice. Yeah, a little bit hard to understand. But,
Right. We weren't able to discern a number from the voice.
Right.
It just sounds almost like a moan.
Right.
But we're going to go ahead and play that clip for you right now so you can take a listen to it and let us know what you think. If there's anybody here with us, could you tell us how many? So that was definitely, I thought it was interesting because
Yeah.
it came on cue to the question and just,
Right.
like I said, it was a very mournful, well, not really, I don't know, it was kind of like an echoing haunting, I guess is a better word
Right.
for it.
Right.
Now, speaking of mournful, I think the second response that we seemed to get, it did sound somewhat of a mournful voice.
It did.
Maybe haunting is a better word.
Yes.
It's very echoey. It does sound like a woman.
It
and
does.
Moni asked, "Are you the one that took the dogs?"
Right.
And the response that we think we hear sounds like it was me. So
Right.
go ahead and take a listen to that right now.
Are you the one that took the dog?
So that was interesting. The results at Old House Woods.
Yes.
I gotta say it hasn't been as active lately
Right.
on our trips up there, but there was definitely some eerie feelings up there this last time. Some noises
Yeah.
that we couldn't pinpoint the source of, which there's gonna be in vast woods like that.
Right.
But just an eerie feeling the whole time you're up there. It feels like eyes
Yeah.
are upon you. And from
Yeah.
previous experiences, it's very unsettling to be back there, I have to say.
Right, and never go up there when you have a bad back or a bad neck, because it's one of those situations where you're standing there, you feel like you have to constantly be turning and looking over both shoulders because you're out there in the middle of the marsh grass and you feel like there really could be something that sneaks up behind you.
Absolutely.
It's kind of one of those sort of feelings where over the shoulder, constantly
Yeah.
looking over the shoulder.
And the sound of the water on the banks and the wind through the marsh grass, it's very, very eerie.
Yes, and clicks and little noises that come out of the
Right.
marsh grass and
Right.
splashes and yeah.
And at first glance, we did an EVP session up there where we established the perimeter. We put the recorder in the middle of the parking area there and asked some questions. But it's very difficult to discern any responses on the recording
Right.
because of all the noises that
The
were up there,
ambient
the ambient
noises, right,
sounds and
right.
such.
Yeah, because there was that one time when David actually heard what he said sounded like a woman's voice.
Right,
But
right.
he was so far down to the other end.
It didn't reach the recorder,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
So if you did hear that, it was, like I said, did not reach the recorder, which is definitely possible, which is why we established that perimeter, so you can hear sounds that are off in the distance,
Yes.
and then we can view later on.
Right.
But we're going to further analyze the recording, of course, and see if we can it's going to take some serious analyzation.
Yeah, a lot of amplification, a serious noise cancellation on this one because of all the ambient noise in the background.
Right,
But,
right.
Yeah, we might be able to tweak it and pull something out of there. But
Absolutely.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Now, on night 2, we went out to a place called My Lady Bridge, where My Lady was on her horse and buggy, and she tried to go over the bridge, which was underwater, and the bridge had been washed out.
Yeah.
And her and her horse were washed into the swamp.
Right.
And it's now named My Lady's Swamp.
Yes.
Now, when we were out there, we did a spirit box session, and this was one of those times where there was not hardly a sound coming out of that spirit box.
Right, right.
It was very quiet.
Yes.
We didn't really pick up anything. We didn't find anything. We didn't do an EVP session. It would have been difficult, once again, being outside the location.
Right.
We did want to keep the car running because if someone came barreling down the road or someone stopped and
Yeah, yeah.
tried to get out and attack us or something like that, we wanted to have a getaway vehicle
Yeah.
already going.
Yeah.
So we did have the car going. So there was some contamination there, I would say, if we were to
Yeah.
do an EVP session, which is why we use a spirit box. We didn't pick up anything. And during the time we were out there, we did not hear the horse hooves clomping over the bridge.
No, we were listening
you're
pretty
supposed to
close
hear.
for those, but who knows whether it was a certain, environmental conditions were not met last night. So it would be interesting to keep going out there under different environmental conditions and seeing if perhaps one night we can pick that up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this Halloween weekend. Until next time, I'm Jeff,
I'm Linda.
and we hope you all have a happy Halloween.